What if I told you your dog can read people better than you can, not because it's smarter, but because it sees what you ignore, the fake smile, the nervous energy, the tension you can't quite explain. And here's the part that should bother you. Every time your dog feels something is off, you talk yourself out of it. You trust words, your dog trusts instinct, and one of you is usually wrong. A man named Alex started noticing something he couldn't quite explain. His dog had always been easygoing, the kind of dog that made people smile the second they walked in. Tail wagging, energy high, always curious, nothing ever threw him off. Until one evening, something shifted. A guest came over. Not a stranger. Someone Alex had known for a while. Someone he had laughed with, trusted, let into his space without a second thought. But the second that person stepped inside, the energy in the room changed. His dog didn't run up, didn't wag his tail, didn't even move. He just stood there, frozen, eyes locked on the guest, ears slightly back, body stiff in a way Alex had never seen before. Then slowly, almost cautiously, he took a step back, like something didn't feel right. Alex forced a laugh, tried to brush it off. "Guess he's just having a weird day," he said. But even as he said it, something felt off, the kind of feeling you don't have proof for, but you can't ignore either. And later that night, that feeling turned into something real, something he wouldn't forget. Here's the part most people never stop to think about. Dogs don't just switch behaviour for no reason. They don't wake up one day and randomly decide, "I don't like this person." That's not how they work. Their reactions come from something real, something they're sensing in the moment. So when your dog suddenly goes quiet, or tense, or pulls away from someone they would normally approach, that shift matters. It means something changed, not in your dog, but in what your dog is picking up. And yet, we ignore it. Almost instantly, we laugh, we dismiss it. We say things like, "Oh, he's just being weird today," or "He does that sometimes," or the classic, "He just doesn't like new people." We create explanations that make us feel comfortable, because the alternative is uncomfortable. It forces you to question something you don't want to question. It forces you to look at someone you trust a little differently, and that's hard. So instead, we choose the easy path. We override instinct with logic. We trust words over behaviour. We trust what people say instead of how they actually make the room feel. But here's the problem with that. Dogs don't have that filter. They don't rationalise. They don't explain things away. They react purely, honestly, without bias. So when they feel something is off, they don't talk themselves out of it. They don't second guess it. They don't ignore it. Only we do. And maybe that's the real question you should be asking. What if your dog isn't overreacting? What if your dog is seeing something you're choosing not to see? Because what your dog is picking up on isn't loud. It's not something you hear across the room. It's not something you notice in a quick conversation. It lives in the small details. The things that slip past you without a second thought. A smile that holds just a little too long. Eye contact that feels slightly off. A pause before answering a simple question. Tiny shifts in posture. Subtle tension in the air that you can't quite explain, but your dog can feel immediately. These are signals humans are trained to ignore. We focus on words, on appearances, on what makes sense on the surface. But dogs don't work that way. They don't need explanations. They respond to patterns, energy, consistency, or the lack of it. And that's where things get interesting, because once you start paying attention to what they're reacting to, you begin to notice it too. Not all at once, but slowly, piece by piece. And suddenly, those random reactions don't feel so random anymore. They feel precise, intentional, like your dog is responding to something real, something that was always there, just hidden in plain sight. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Scientists have spent years trying to understand this, and what they found is honestly wild. Dogs aren't just reacting to what they see. They're reading people in a way most humans never do. They pick up on micro expressions. Those tiny, almost invisible facial movements that flash for a split second and disappear. You don't notice them, most people don't. But your dog does. Every time, they see the difference between a real smile and one that's forced. They notice when someone's eyes don't match their expression. When their face says one thing, but something underneath says something else, and it doesn't stop there. Your dog is constantly reading body language, the way someone stands, how they hold tension in their shoulders, the way their hands move, even small shifts in weight, like they're uncomfortable in their own skin, things you'd never think twice about, but to your dog, those details matter. And then there's smell. This is where it gets even crazier. Dogs can detect chemical changes in your body, stress hormones, fear responses, anxiety spikes, even when you're trying to hide it, even when you look completely calm on the outside. Your body still gives off signals, and your dog reads them like a language. So when your dog reacts to someone, it's not random, it's not mood, it's not guesswork, it's information. In simple terms, your dog isn't judging the person in front of them. Your dog is responding to what that person is trying to hide, and doing it with a level of honesty most humans don't have anymore. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable. Remember Alex. That night his dog froze, refused to get close, kept his distance like something wasn't right. Weeks passed, life moved on. Nothing obvious happened right away, no big warning signs, no dramatic moment that made Alex stop and think, maybe my dog was right. Everything looked normal on the surface, but slowly, little cracks started to show. Small things at first, conversations that didn't quite line up, stories that changed depending on who was listening, a vibe that felt off, but easy to ignore. Alex noticed it, just not enough to act on it. Because every time doubt came up, logic stepped in and shut it down. He's probably overthinking. It's nothing serious. It doesn't really matter. That's how it always starts, not with something obvious, but with things that are easy to dismiss, until one day, it wasn't dismissible anymore. The truth came out. That same person had been lying, not once, not twice, but consistently, manipulating situations, twisting conversations, hiding things from people who trusted him, the kind of behaviour that doesn't show up immediately, but leaves a trail if you pay attention, and suddenly, everything made sense. All those small moments, all those subtle signals, they were always there. Alex just didn't connect them, but his dog did, from the very beginning. No confusion, no second guessing, no need for proof. While Alex trusted words, trusted appearances, trusted what he wanted to believe, his dog trusted what was real. And that's the part that stays with you, because the only one in that room who saw the truth early was the one who couldn't speak. So the next time your dog reacts differently to someone, don't rush past it, just pause. Give it a second. Don't laugh it off. Don't immediately explain it away. Watch, really watch. Not just your dog, but the person standing in front of you. Look at the details. How they move when they think no one's paying attention. How they respond when something unexpected happens. The way their tone shifts under pressure. The way their body tightens or relaxes. Small things, easy to miss, but not meaningless, because your dog might be reacting to something real, something subtle, but important. And here's the truth. Your emotions can blur things. Your assumptions can soften red flags. Your desire to trust someone can make you overlook what's right in front of you. But your dog doesn't carry that bias. No expectations, no filters, just instinct. So instead of ignoring that reaction, use it, not as final proof, but as a signal to pay closer attention. Because trust isn't always built through what people say. Sometimes it shows up in what they can't hide. And sometimes your dog notices it first. And now, think about this for a second. Go back in your mind, really go back. Has your dog ever reacted strangely to someone and you couldn't explain why? Maybe they avoided that person, stayed close to you instead of walking up like they usually do. Maybe they went quiet, alert, watching, instead of relaxing, and at the time, you brushed it off. You told yourself it didn't mean anything. You made it make sense in a way that felt comfortable. They're just in a mood. They don't like new people. It's random. But was it? Or was that just the easiest explanation you could give yourself, so you didn't have to question anything deeper? Because if you look back now, really think about it. What happened after that? Did that person ever give you a reason to doubt them later? Did something feel off eventually? Something you couldn't ignore anymore? And suddenly, that moment with your dog started to feel different, less random, more specific. That's the part most people miss. It's not about assuming the worst. It's not about blindly trusting every reaction your dog has. But it is about awareness. It's about paying attention to signals before they turn into patterns, because your dog doesn't operate on words. They don't care about reputation. They don't get influenced by charm or confidence or how someone presents themselves. They respond to what's real, what's consistent, what feels safe, and what doesn't. And maybe that's the lesson in all of this. Not that your dog is always right, but that they notice things you've trained yourself to overlook. So next time, when that small moment happens again, that pause, that hesitation, that quiet shift in your dog's behaviour, don't ignore it so quickly. Don't explain it away before you even understand it. Just sit with it, observe, stay aware. Because sometimes truth doesn't show up loudly. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up quietly, in the reactions you almost dismissed. And maybe, just maybe, your dog saw something real before you were ready to.